everybody. We are here for another podcast.
Yes, we are. Welcome back. Welcome back.
How is everybody doing today?
So good to hear that.
Great.
I'm glad you're doing good. And if you're not doing good, I am sorry to hear that. I hope your day gets better. Hopefully, this conversation might lighten up the mood for you a bit, or send you down a spiraling rabbit hole of existential crisis.
It might.
Both are very possible.
That's very much what it did to me. So,
yeah.
Before we get into anything you just want to update the audience on?
Got my flu shot today. Not by choice. If it was really up to me, I'd probably never get a flu shot again in my life. But, I don't really own my body, so what the Air Force says, Felipe does.
Yes. We were also both sick. If you've been keeping up with the vlogs.
Oh, yeah.
He got sick first, and then 2 days later, I finally got it. So.
Yeah. Although I'm getting over it. Today,
Is it possible? Does it come back? Because obviously people get sick when you get the flu shot. But, you're already sick. So then does that...
Anytime I've had the flu shot, I never actually get sick. I don't think I've ever actually gotten sick from the flu shot. Oh. I usually just carry on about my life. Nothing really happens. Although, this is the first time that I've gone to get my flu shot, and I'm, getting over a sickness / sick. And when I walked in, there was a sign saying, have you experienced any of these symptoms lately? And I'm like, nah, I just walked right by. And then they asked me again after I handed my ID and everything. She was like, look down at the orange paper, see if any of this applies to you. If you answer yes, just let me know. And then the first one was like, have you been sick recently, or are you sick now? And I'm like, nah.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if
you might just make yourself terminally ill.
Yeah, I might actually be terminally ill now. No, yeah, I've never, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But today I've been relatively not sick. At this point, it's really just my throat, because so you get what's it called, sore throat. That's pretty much over for me. Although my voice is still a little bit raspy, just because I've been doing a lot of lately.
Oh.
Although that sounded a little bit suspect. No.
What are you doing with making those noises?
I've been doing a lot of clearing my throat.
Oh, you could have just said that.
Yeah, I don't know why I needed to make that. I'm sorry. I like females. Okay, let's just make that clear. None of that Diddy stuff. I'm not doing none of that freak off nonsense. No. I've just been having a lot of phlegm in my throat because of my cold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now my voice is still a little bit raspy, but I don't have any more sore throats. That's fine. Now it's just kind of getting over the runny nose, which is becoming farther and fewer in between. So I think I'm good. Although I might just go straight down the drain now that I've had the flu shot. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm still taking meds just in case. I just took a little bit of Dayquil a few minutes ago. So that should be fine.
Yeah. So yeah, that's essentially been the past few days. We've been really good with our vlogs recently. So you want to go check up what we've been doing this past, it's really just the past weekend. We didn't record during the week, but yeah, go check out the vlog because that was posted yesterday if you haven't.
Yeah.
Any whoosies.
All right, guys, before she goes on her rampage, towards the beginning of when we started the podcast, actually, you still have to do that.
Yes,
she said that she was going to make her whole case as to why the moon landing was fake, and because basically she loves her conspiracy theories, right? Mm-hmm. And the main one that she pushes on me every now and then is the fake moon landing BS, which I don't know, as time passes, I might be getting convinced to anywhere from 0.5 to 1%, but I'm still not really convinced that it didn't happen. But I don't know, I just whatever. Either way, lately the big news, I'll pass it off to you here in a second. So I know you're ready to go.
Well, Yeah, I'll let you explain most of the beginning of this because I just learned this news from him this morning, and then that's when I kind of fell down a huge hole of
Yeah,
lots of other things that uh go into the topic. So
yeah,
you go ahead and explain.
yeah. This isn't about the moon landing. Like I said, she
Oh
still
no,
has to put that together and make her case to me. Um,
there's just so much that I have to like. I just have to actually sit
yeah,
down and get so much together for that. So that's gonna take some time, but I do want to get to that because that was literally the like number one thing that I thought of when we first started this podcast. So I gotta get all my stuff together again.
yes. So while this is not about that, um, we are still in that like ish kind of realm of things. I mean, it's probably in the title, aliens. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, she actually, I don't even. One second. Um, I found out recently. Actually, yeah, I'm sure some of you have heard as well. Is that apparently aliens are in the ocean? Um, I went down not very deep in the rabbit hole, but I was like, oh, okay, and then that was pretty much it. Because then my TikTok went from, oh my gosh, aliens have been discovered in the ocean. They're not in space. They're not from the outer space. They're from our ocean. And I was like, okay. And then the next few TikToks after that was like people complaining, like, bruh, we just went through the election. Now they're trying to distract us with the UFO stuff because now
Yeah,
it's like clockwork.
that's what I found a lot of people saying too. That for somehow every year aliens decide to come around election year.
Yeah, no. And not even necessarily elections. It's just like every time there's something weird
Oh well,
happening
yeah.
in the world or the government, like right now, we're kind of on the brink of World War III. The election just happened, of course. Like every time something big happens, we still got the Diddy stuff going on. Like all of a sudden, the whole alien talk and like government hearings and things at Washington at the Capitol,
Just
like
such like irrelevant things that
yeah,
really don't need to be discussed are coming up in Congress now all of a
yeah,
sudden when other important things are happening.
yeah, no, it's ridiculous. So I quickly paid no mind to it again because it's come on, it's like clockwork. Like we know what you like. The government is so obvious. It could not be more obvious that they're just trying to distract. Okay, there's so many big things going on in the world now. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, aliens. And it's like, dude, if we're gonna keep bringing up aliens, there was this one video of a guy who was like, dude, I don't care anymore. Just show us the damn pictures. Like, if there's pictures or videos, just show it to us. Stop
Yeah.
talking about it. Just show it because we know. So yeah, that's kind of where I went. That's kind of where my feed ended. I quickly went back to like my basketball and sports stuff. Um, yeah. So today she didn't know what to do very much for a podcast topic. So instead, I pointed her in this direction. I was like, "There's aliens in the ocean." She's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, go find out about it." So here we are. Off to you.
Yeah. So obviously I did the thing that anybody would do to find some reliable information. I went to TikTok and I just went and found what this whole alien in the ocean thing was. So I saw a few videos, whatever, people doing their dramatic, oh my gosh, aliens are in the ocean. And then, knowing the way that I am, I can't just see something like that and then not go further into it. So I started scrolling some more, and I eventually fell down a very big hole of many, many theories that coincide with this. And honestly, I have my notes here because my brain is so scrambled with the amount of things that I heard and saw and like things that I started to research on my own on the side. So I'm going to do my best to stay within the lines here and not skip over because there's a lot of things that we will also end up in discussion about in between. So hopefully I'm going to try my best to stay on a path today. It's going to be very easy to stray off, but we're going to do our best here. Anyways, to start, um the whole Congress meeting that they had didn't necessarily confirm aliens, but apparently there was footage or whatever of some unidentified objects that just looked a little suspicious. So that's what they confirmed in Congress. They didn't say like aliens are in the ocean. They just confirmed that there were some weird looking things that have been flying around. Um so they came forward with that, and then some previous military people also came forward saying that like they've seen things and they don't understand it and other people don't understand it. So that's just kind of where they're at. Nobody's really like saying like, yeah, we think there's something out there, or no, somebody actually did say like, no, we're definitely not alone. But the whole point of the Congress meeting, they definitely strayed away from saying like, yes, aliens are real. All they really said was we're confirming the UAPs, which is just the unidentified things that people don't know about or that they don't understand. So that's just the basis here. Now, going into the theories of what people may question out of this, and this is where things start to spiral, was that the ocean is actually space, and that aliens aren't living in the ocean, they're living in space because or they're not living in space, they're living in the ocean. It's all one thing.
Huh? I don't think wait, repeat that because I don't think I've heard that before. You're saying that the ocean is space.
Correct. And that aliens aren't living in the ocean. They're living in space.
And then how are they in the ocean if the ocean is space?
Because that's
Is it that the ocean is space or that the space is ocean?
No, that the ocean is space. I mean, ocean, space, ocean, it's all the point is it's whole. It's all one thing. So it was like it's essentially a portal because you can't go up, you're going to go down, and then it all just kind of circles.
Sure.
So it was people were just talking about like it's about the fact that we know so much about space already, and yeah, we know absolutely nothing about the ocean. We haven't really discovered much, and the things that we do discover are kind of terrifying. And there's just instances where like that one guy who came forward and said there's an ocean in an ocean.
Oh yeah, I heard about that
one. That's a little weird. And about the fact that we can build things like spaceships or rockets or whatever to go into space, allegedly. But yet we can't build submarines or something to go underwater that can withstand the water pressure.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
There's also a lot of other things that are not easy to just build and go up to space in.
I mean, I feel like that's just a simple, like, space. No oxygen. How do we fix that problem?
Well,
oxygen.
It's
in the aircraft. Okay, that's it.
No, but there's so much more that goes in because there's pressure in space that you also just there's a reason why you have to wear a spacesuit. There's a lot of pressure and things and sciencey things that you can't just go up there and doodly do. It's the same thing as building a submarine. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Is it? What do you mean by pressure in space? Because like, hasn't it been a thing that sometimes when they come back from space, they end up being taller? So I feel like that's the opposite of pressure.
What?
I've heard about that. Like some people have come back like a different height because I mean there's no gravity, so it's just like I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know the science behind it.
Never heard of that.
But I feel like I heard about that at some point in time or another.
There is a belt, not Orion's belt. There's a belt in space. This also goes in with the whole moon landing thing that you really should not be able to pass because of what it's made out of.
What's it made of?
I can't remember, honestly. I just remember that there is this belt in space that you cannot just go. It's very hard to build something to pass through that. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's really going into future topics. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Anyways, with the ocean. Um
I don't think I'm a fan of the portable one. I don't think that's a thing.
well, it's not trying to be seen as like a futuristic portal type thing because it'll coincide with what I'm going to get into. That's just kind of like the first basis of that people were talking about, and then that's when you go down the deeper hole of finding out like what that whole portal actually means or what it can mean. But yeah, that's just what people were saying was that um the the aliens have always been there because that's just space. The ocean is space, space is ocean. It's all one whole. And then obviously people came forward with like footage and things, but it was it was a little questionable because
That's what I find stupid every time the whole aliens conversation comes up on the news or whatever. Is that it's always like some footage or some video, a picture with like the worst quality ever. That's
yeah,
why
it's
I
like
just don't pay any mind
it's
to it.
all zoomed in. You can't see anything. It's blurry.
Pixely as hell. Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, any footage that like really came through was kind of baloney. And then the footage that the press released kind of just looked like any other military footage that you would see. It was just like a little spacecraft and then oh, excuse me, the like little squares of where like it's tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody sees that. There hasn't really been anything that's like confirming things. And then this one video that I had found was like this guy in, or a fisherman in Puerto Rico. He was out there doing something, and then there was like a blue light in the ocean, and then that's what was like kind of seen as the main um evidence or whatever. But
Isn't that one fish from Nemo?
no,
That one, the
the
little,
big
the ugly one
giant.
with the dingling
Yes,
light.
I know what you're talking about. No, it's not that. Um, I watched the video and I couldn't tell if it was like he was trying to show a figure as well because I did see like some black thing in the middle of the light, but like again, that just does not prove anything. It was literally just a blue light under the ocean. But there is also people saying like there's a whole bioluminescent thing with water.
Oh, yes. Oh, it was a part of a movie. Oh, I can picture it so clear in my brain. There's a movie where that blue light in the ocean water is like a thing, and I don't know.
Yeah,
It's all
there's oceans across the world that have bioluminescence, which is
yeah.
cool. But like the way that the video was showing the water, it didn't look like it would have been bioluminescent because it was literally all like in one spot and it was a bright blue. But again, that also just doesn't prove much.
I don't know.
It was weird to look at, but not solid evidence.
Yeah, that's why it's also like it's interesting or whatever. Like, oh my gosh, like I just like we know. I just everybody knows. I just think we need to have somebody just put out some good stuff, man. Why do we always have the worst pictures and videos? Somebody just needs to
because
put out the stuff.
well, that's why people come forward and being
Ridiculous.
like,
Yeah, but they're
is it real then? Because everybody keeps saying all this, so then where's the proof? Like, show me a picture, show me a
yeah.
video.
At this point, like, because every time one of those posts come up, right, you go into the comments and people are just like, "All right, so am I like paying rent this month or like what are we doing?" Because people are so
Yeah.
tired of it, bro. Like, we're just sick. Okay, if we're gonna talk about it, let's make it a real conversation. Stop just talking about it. So whack.
Um, they were also talking about like the tax money being used on these UAPs
What do you mean, like tax money being used to build?
to or not to investigate, but to like further, I guess, to investigate. That's not the right word, but you get the point. Like research, like putting money towards the research to the UAPs.
I think people would be willing to use their tax dollars on that.
Probably.
especially as opposed to gender affirming care.
Yeah. Of course, you
That's
find
already
a,
on the way out,
a
so
reason.
we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. But also along before we get into the more controversial things, um, the whole thing with the UAPs was that we, alongside other countries, we have the the technology. What is it called? I have it here. It's just that we all of us as a whole, along with other countries, are in possession of this kind of technology that the UAPs should have. But then there's also apparently some kind of secret race that we're all in, and that's what people are talking about most. Is like that whole secret race that we're
Well,
trying to beat all these other countries with this technology.
well, yeah, it's a secret, but it's really not a secret. Like everybody knows, we just don't talk about it
Yeah.
because, like I keep saying, nobody cares unless we're actually going to have like 4K solid proof pictures and videos. We're all sick of this like 120p freaking resolution of something that it could just be a blob, and you're just, oh my gosh, it's
That's what half of the videos were. They were literally blobs.
Yeah,
And then
no,
that's when they're doing the whole like military tracking little square thingy, and it's
yeah,
like going across the
no,
screen.
it's so
It's
stupid.
like that's literally a bug. Like,
yeah, no, we're literally in 2024. Do you see the quality of movies we're making nowadays? And nobody, not one person, can catch a 4K video, at least on their iPhone or something. Like, come on. It's always some 120p. I can see every pixel on the screen type video. Like, come on.
yeah.
Come on, guys. Be for real.
Anyways, so yeah, that's that with the whole aliens thing. Now, moving on to the more controversial side of things. Going along with the ocean is space or space is ocean, however you want to see it. Um, this is where things get a little biblical because in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1, it says that let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
Firmament?
Is that what I said?
I said firmament.
Oh, firmament. Sorry. So that kind of coincides with the whole ocean is space because we are in the bubble, which is the firmament, and the water is your space. It's beneath you, it's above you. We are in the middle. Now, this also goes with the Earth is flat theory, but not in a way that like the world is flat, because obviously, like I just said, we are in a dome, and there's just water that we're surrounded by. But it's more of the land is flat, not that the Earth is flat, just like actual land, which we live on, like mountains and things, just land. We are flat. We are in a dome, firmament. That's what we were in. Ocean is space, all around us.
I don't know about that. I mean, like, I'm a firm Bible believer, all that, but I don't. Because then, like, see, bro, like, we got pictures of the Earth from space. We got 4K. See, that's stupid.
No,
because
but
how do we got
the
8K picture resolution of the Earth?
you're proving my point.
I don't know, man. It's just
You're proving my point. It's the fact that we have
because
all
we
these
just
clear.
were in the mountain. We just went up to the mountain this weekend, and like I could see the curvature of the Earth.
The firmament.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That curve that you see is the dome. That's the firmament.
No, but I see, but it's like on the horizon. I don't think that'd be possible to see the dome as the horizon. Like I don't know, because it would have to be flat going that way. But
Well,
I see the curvature.
it is flat because if you think about it, when you go The other thing that I had saw was that obviously in the Bible it also talks about the four corners of Earth. The circle does not have corners. When you're looking at a compass, you have your north, south, west, east, northwest, east, north, whatever, all that baloney. When you're in a plane, when you're going east west, you always end up in the same direction because you're going in a circle. You're not going over or under. It's always just going in a circle, which would make sense when you have a flat land. When you're going north or south, yeah, you're only going one way. Or like you're going back and forth, you're never going to end up in that same spot. But when you're going east west, it's moving in a circular motion. And they also talk about that in the Bible, which is why I just said the whole four corners thing. I didn't look much into that part, but he does say the four corners of Earth. And they also made it a big point that I saw some people talking about is that when they talk about Earth, in Isaiah, they make it very clear, like a clear distinction between a circle and a sphere. And Earth is only ever referred to as a circle, not like a actual sphere.
I mean, I can see that. It's just that at the time of these scriptures being written, that's like the most you can. I mean, they didn't have planes or technology to go up into space and like view the world from this angle. All we were doing as humans back in the times of Isaiah and Genesis being written is literally just like what we can see. I think from that perspective, like, yeah, you would make the assumption that it's just a circle. But, as technology and everything advances, that's how we would
I
end
mean,
up
but it's
seeing, like, oh,
still
it is a sphere.
it's not like what I just said. If you go in a plane, the whole compass thing that I just said, you're not going in a sphere. You're not going like like this. There's
Then
only
how
there's
come
only
they
one
fly in a
direction.
curve when they go? Because they say we have to follow the curvature of the earth.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody says. Because majority of the world believes that we're in a sphere.
I think it's because we are.
No, because it makes sense when you're flat. I need to find the picture. I should have saved the picture.
So are you like a flat earther now, or
It's
what's going on?
I'm not a flat earther. I don't know what I believe after seeing what I saw today, but it's not flat earth. It's just the land that we're on is flat. Not that
Well, no,
earth as a
I know what
whole
you're trying to
is
say. I know
flat.
what you're trying to say. But
That
like,
makes more sense than saying that the whole world is flat. Duh, that's not possible.
yeah, no, I'm definitely not going.
It's more
I'm
of
talking
just
about like the medium of like the extreme flat earthers versus the Earth is obviously a sphere. Yes, the Earth is a dome. I know what you're trying to say.
I don't know what this was under.
But I mean, that also points me in the direction this whole shape of the Earth question is. I also saw a bunch of videos earlier today that popped up randomly on TikTok. Just it's so stupid that the source is always TikTok. That the whole Antarctica issue.
Yes,
People
that is also
use Antarctica as a big piece of evidence as to why the Earth may be not flat but the dome shape referred to in the Bible.
explain a little more. What do you mean?
Well, because I don't know. Anytime it's always drawn out on a map, I don't really know because I don't pay too much attention to those videos. All I know is like the big picture idea is that Antarctica is a big piece of evidence for why people believe that the Earth may be a dome and that there's definitely stuff in Antarctica that is being hidden or preserved or something that nobody ever is allowed to
Yeah,
know.
that's a whole other video that we could definitely dive into because there's a lot that goes into Antarctica. But something that I had with that was it was just one of the things that fell into the theory was the ice wall.
The way that the the map is drawn out for like the majority of I guess human history or whatever is that when they draw out Antarctica, it's that ice wall. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like that backs the whole Earth is a dome thing because of the ice wall, that the way it's drawn out on maps. So yeah, I don't know. I
The
don't
Earth is a dome in the sense that I'm saying it, or the sphere
no. This is me saying the Earth is a dome.
in the way that I'm
Yeah,
explaining.
a lot of the
Oh
videos that
yeah,
I
yeah,
come
yeah.
across is that they always talk about the way that the maps are drawn. Is that so for some reason Antarctica is like the end all be all for this like major proof of evidence that like we don't know, like why is nobody ever allowed there? Why,
Yeah.
like what's this whole ice wall issue? Why is it drawn out to be like the edges of the Earth basically?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had saw I forgot who went out there, but I think it was on one of those like fishing or just those like discovered shows. Um, there was a group that had went out and they actually went on a boat out to the ice wall, but it's literally just an infinite wall that nobody knows about. But yeah, Antarctica is its own weird place that nobody knows what's going on, and like you need permission to go to certain places. That's a whole other
Yeah,
video that I would have to look into because all I know is that there's some sketchy things going on over there. I've never actually looked into what or like what could possibly be.
yeah. The video that I saw earlier today, they said that like I forgot who was talking about it, but they were like saying that all the countries had come in agreement, like you have your specific portions, nobody
Yeah.
would touch or do anything.
Yeah, like nobody argues over anything. It's all
Yeah,
just kind of like
like
as a group, everybody knows like, okay, this is what we're doing, and nobody crosses it,
yeah,
and we're all okay with that.
yeah. But then it's like everybody has their section, but then at least in this video, this is the first time that I think I'd ever heard it, is that there's a specific part of Antarctica that was agreed upon that nobody, no
Yeah.
country touches or goes near,
Mhm.
but everybody has their own parts. And that's where I was like, oh, that's okay. What the heck?
Yeah. That's what's a little weird out there. But yeah, I would have to do some more research on that because it's a weird concept or just a lot of weird, creepy things happening out there. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. I can't find the picture that I saw earlier. It was on TikTok that I had saw. That was explaining the whole compass direction thing a little bit more. But it's like I said with the whole plane thing. It's like when you're going north or south, you're gonna you come to a stopping point. There's nowhere else to go. And then when you go east and west, you're going in a circle. Like you're gonna end up in the same spot if you just keep going.
But if you keep going north, there's not really a stopping point. It just turns in, because that's why there's the what's it called, the line, the hemisphere line.
Hmm.
You just kind of eventually just turns into
Well,
south.
that's why I was no, that's why I was trying to find the the picture because the way that they were explaining it was that north is the center point, and that's what it is. Like it doesn't go anywhere else. Like you can't. Like you see here, this is what I'm talking about. You have east west. You're constantly going to go in a big circle,
But at
and
what
then
point?
north is that's why you have northwest, northeast, and there's not like I forgot what the person said, but there was something with that like made a valid point that that's why you can't go anywhere else or like you're not.
Well, because uh, I guess you're right. Because you're only, as long as you're going, I guess, in the upward direction, it's only ever north. But as soon as you turn down south,
Yes, and
uh,
then east and west is going in a constant circle. That's what people were saying. Your land is flat because again that's following this. When you're flying east to west, you can keep going in that direction, you're going to end up in that same spot eventually. If you're going north or south, you're only ever going up or down.
hmm. But I don't know. But the same thing does apply though for east and west. You're only going east as long as you're going east. As soon as you turn the other direction, you're suddenly going west.
Yeah, but it's the fact that you're gonna end up in that same spot again, whether you're going in one direction or not. Like you can keep going in a circle, you're gonna go in a circle though, and you're gonna come back. North and south is your. It's just like that's it.
I don't know.
You can't go further.
I think
You're not gonna end up in that same spot again. If you go south, you're only going south. You're not gonna end up on north.
yeah.
It's only straight up or down, and then east and west. You can keep on going forever. You're gonna end up in that same spot again.
I don't know. I feel like we should move on to another theory before I am a full on dome flat earther, because I'm like on the verge of being convinced.
Well, the next topics that I have is just going more into why the Earth is flat.
I may be a flat earther, guys. Oh, it's happened.
Because it's really not. It's not even the fact that Earth is so flat.
Weird. Why have we been programmed? Like, it begs the whole question: the programming.
Well, again, this whole theory is honestly going strictly by what the Bible says. So that's why it becomes a question of, okay, do you want to listen to what he said, or are we just gonna go by what we've been taught, like anything else in the world?
Well, the thing is, so a distinction that I made between my worldview that I am slowly, by the way, learning more and more about. Okay, I may be a Christian. I want to pursue Jesus and all that. I am a baby. Okay, I've only just recently taken my faith seriously, so I'm a baby in my faith, and I will probably remain a baby forever. But a distinction that I made very clear is that the worldview of evolution in science proves no truth whatsoever, ever. Because in science, I mean, we see this all the time. It's only true up until it's not. And if, as an honest thinking human being, you want to know the truth, there is reality. There is reality and there is objective truth. And looking at reality through the lens of science, for one, gives you no philosophical and ethical solution to any problem ever. Science will tell you how the tea was made this morning and how you got to a point where you grew to a point in your evolution to be able to drink this tea as a thinking adult human being. But it will never tell you why you should drink that tea. Why is it good for you? Or it won't tell me why I shouldn't poison her tea. I don't know. To me, because that's just such a weird step to have to take. Because I want to take my faith seriously, and the Bible isn't just like a book of stories. It's a historical document. It is a historical document. So if I'm to take that as truth, I would probably have to look at the earth in this way. But it's such a weird step to take, being that I've been taught by man to believe so many other things. So, oof. I might have to. I don't know. I'm going to start saying all the words, the firmament, and all that weird vocabulary. I'm going to start saying. You said it at one time. Don't you think that's a thing?
What?
The whole firmament thing?
This is the firmament thing. What do you mean?
No, but you're one of the people that like definitely says that's a thing. Like you full on believe that?
That what I'm talking about is true?
Yeah. I mean, because you're of the variety of people that say we've never been to the moon because firmament and blah blah blah.
Right, and that's why I had said the text earlier that this just proves more as to why the moon landing wasn't real, but that's in a little bit, so I don't want to get too much into that.
Yeah. Anyways, this is yeah. Truth is it's a big scary thing. This is a scary conversation.
Yeah, so I kind of fell down a hole and I was really questioning just all kinds of things, and I'm still very confused and I don't know what to think or what to believe, but this kind of I don't really know how to put it into words. I want to say confirms, but it's like at least it's a better explanation of something.
Of what?
I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I was trying to figure it out earlier because this really just like sent me in a weird spiral. But I think this has just been like the first thing that there's like an explanation as to like a visual explanation. Like I can actually put like pictures or like things together in my brain that actually make sense as to how the world functions or like because obviously there's always been the whole is earth flat or is it round or what is it, and like yeah, science is science, but like this is the first time that like I've actually seen or like read something that I can actually like put together in my brain that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Again, I I don't know. This is really it's a lot because again, the Bible is a historic document. It's not just a book of stories. There's a lot of stories, but they're rooted in history. These are things that happened. So like, yeah, because now I'm at the point where it's like, if this is truth, if this worldview is a truth, how and why did we get to this point of the programming and the teaching of so many other things?
That's probably just a whole other side of research that you'd have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that also just that falls into the line of evolution and Big Bang things and how that can
Well,
possibly fall into this.
a Big Bang and evolution is a fairly that's a easy topic to wrap up for me, but yeah.
Um, but yeah, as I was saying, the with the whole firmament thing, it's seen as you have your different levels. You have your flat Earth, then you have stars, moon, and sun, which is one layer.
Ooh, what does that mean for all the pictures that we've taken of like space, like all the crazy
That's
like?
what I'm getting to. That's what
Uh,
I'm getting
because
to.
I never really thought about this in
That's
depth
what
past the
I'm
TikTok
getting
post,
to.
and now my brain is starting
Is
to
that
go.
not what I always try to explain every single time? Like, it doesn't make sense. All these pictures that we see don't make sense.
I mean, it does. It makes sense. It's
It
just,
does, but it doesn't.
well, yeah, exactly. It does, except it doesn't. So like the pictures are beautiful and like the expansive universe. It's just like well, my brain is starting to crash.
Because, okay, so like I was saying, you have your stars. We are in one layer, and then your next layer, that's where stars, sun, and moon live. And the next isn't really space, it's the chambers of heaven, really. And that's where God is.
The chambers of heaven. What is
Or
that?
this is heaven. That's just where heaven lies. Beyond star, sun, and moon, which is seen as space, but it's
Beyond the
really
stars.
it's really that the firmament is cut up into like layers. You have
But
heaven, stars, which are planets, planets are stars. See, now this is where it started getting tricky because
stars
some
are also
people,
suns. Or like,
yes, but let me finish.
uh,
People were also saying that it gets tricky because then do planets just not exist? But then I had saw something.
like there's so many pictures.
Yeah, and I can go into AI right now and make a planet myself and tell you, hey, that was Pluto, and you wouldn't know the difference.
Well, but like we have taken pictures of planets, allegedly, apparently,
Exactly,
since before
allegedly.
AI. So like,
Yeah, allegedly.
uh, oh,
And
I'm
you're gonna
going.
tell me that
I'm gonna die.
the freaking moon landing, that the recording of it and all the pictures that we have of that are in high definition 4K when we can't even get a solid picture of anything right now? of any kind of proof or evidence.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. My brain is starting to shut down.
Yeah. And this is why, when it came to the whole moon landing theory, I spent a whole summer doing absolutely nothing but sitting on my laptop and writing down in a journal of every possible proof and truth and everything. And then this honestly just kind of like proved more for me. And we're not even to some talking points yet. But I want to stay on track. I don't want to go off to the side. We can go off to the side in a little bit once I'm done explaining. But yes, firmament. That is a theory. May also not be a theory and could possibly be truth. Some people were also saying that that's why rainbows are curved, because the dome, it just kind of follows. It's a reflection of the firmament.
I guess that would explain why it starts on one point of the land and ends on another.
And then something else that somebody had said, which I don't really know too much about science on this part, but there's a guy who, like during the day when it's a very clear day out, you can see the moon. He was talking about, why is the shadow on the moon a flat line and not curved? Because if we were on a sphere, then the shadow should be curved. But when you look at the moon and the way that the sun is being reflected on it, it's just a solid flat line.
What are you talking about? Like when it's like a half moon?
Yeah.
Well, but we also have the crescent and the obsolescent, the other phases.
Yeah, well, like I said, I didn't really look much into that, and I didn't know. But I don't know that side of science. I don't care. That was just something that was in the whole of my scrolling. He was recording the moon, and he's like, look at this. It's flat. It should not be flat. In some other words, well, I forget.
That's stupid, because that's just a coincidence of how the it lines up.
He had said something else in there, but I can't remember. That was just something that I noted. But yes.
No, I think I'm gonna discount that one, because that's just a question of how it lines up.
Were you gonna say something?
I don't. My brain is crashing, so I'm just trying to listen.
Okay. Going in with space things now, or with like the NASA side of it. There have been, and I forgot, this is where I kind of stopped doing a little bit of research, and I just kind of wrote this, because this can probably be a whole other episode too, and I really wanted to keep it short, but it was just like more evidence, I guess you could call it, towards the whole firmament. But it was like a list of all whatchamacallit, like events or something that was happening that just proved towards the firmament. There was Operation Fishbowl, which is where they had sent up missiles to perform tests, is what they claimed. And they were really just like shooting off nuclear things, but
nuclear?
It was just being blown up in the air.
Well, I don't think it was nuclear, because that would have been a
well, no, not nuclear, but things were being blown up in the air, and they were claiming that they were just performing tests. But then people were also saying, well, you're running into the firmament, and that's why it blew up, because you can't go past it. And then that happened. So there was like 6 other events that happened before Operation Fishbowl that also go in with the firmament thing, but that's what I had forgot to write down. But after Fishbowl is when moon landing happened, apparently. And people were saying, well, because Fishbowl failed, then they came in with the moon landing to prove that, hey, we actually can pass this, so we got you. There is nothing there. But then that just kind of, it really does prove my whole moon landing point, is that you cannot pass the firmament. You did not go to space.
Well, but then how do we have satellites orbiting? How do we have that second moon right now? Because that's a thing.
What second moon?
You remember I
That was a
told
thing
you?
for all of like 2 seconds. What
Well,
happened to it?
well, no, it was a thing. Well, yeah, it was a thing for 2 seconds because the news was, oh, there's a meteor thing that came into our orbit. It's going to be in orbit for 2 months. I think by now it's been.
Why
I think
is this
we've.
so zoomed
I
in?
think we've
Oh.
hit the 2 month point. So by now it's probably about to leave our orbit sometime soon.
Let me see here.
Like how is it that we have satellites in space, quote unquote,
Yeah, but no,
for
and
like phones and all that, and different countries have their stuff set up out there.
well, when people were talking about satellites, somebody had said, "Have you ever actually seen a satellite, or you only ever seen a satellite in space?"
Well, that was going to be my follow up question. Is like, actually, if you really think about it, if you look up to the sky at
Look
any
at
point,
that.
you don't see anything.
Anytime that you search up satellite, all that ever comes up is something that's in space. Have you ever seen a satellite? Has anybody ever taken pictures of satellites on Earth? No.
Well, I think it's because our phone cameras aren't like they can't zoom in that much.
No, I mean, we're obviously, if you're sending a satellite to space, it's being made here on Earth and then being sent up. Why are there no pictures or anything of satellites on Earth? Why is it every time that we look up a satellite, it's in space?
And then what about that one time that somebody went into space and then jumped out and came back to Earth? The Red Bull guy. Like, but like
Because,
that was a whole
I
thing.
mean, because the sky obviously isn't ending 20 feet up in the air. You can go up a pretty high. Yeah, you're going to go up.
Like he was in space. We saw the curvature of the Earth and everything.
Well, because
It was circular.
I don't know where, if a firmament was a thing, I don't know where that ends or where it starts or what, how far beyond. Like, it's, I don't know.
Isn't that's the thing, right? If somehow the Earth is a dome, but then how do you explain that one guy that jumped out of the stupid the satellite station or whatever and then fell down to Earth? Because like
It
I think
would,
in that video, because the whole thing is recorded live. If that
I'm looking, I'm looking.
video is as true as we think it is,
This is not,
that's just not.
this was some stock photo. I'm like, really? This is what we're going based off of? No, this was the wrong one. Guy falling from space.
Yeah.
Oh, there was also other instances where Elon has sent up his thing up into space and it exploded somehow for some reason. Guess
Well,
what? Because they can't go past the firmament.
but look, because you see the guy like there's literally the whole thing was live, like on television, and you can
What the
obviously
heck
see
is
that the Earth
this?
is like a sphere.
Yes, but you when we're never going down. That's the thing. Yeah, we can go up, but that's what I'm saying is that the ocean is space, space is ocean. Like we're there's something up there, yes, but
And like, see if you can like go on YouTube or something.
free falling. Let me see.
I don't know, man.
I'm
It's just
searching
like
this up. And it's also just like so weird that there are so many people who go out here and try to expose what's happening in the space and then somehow they die within the next few months. Coincidence?
coincidence. I think not.
No, it's
And
not
then
because
would the
there are
Illuminati use it?
so. Oh, and then also with the whole Bermuda Triangle thing, people say that that's a black hole because it's in the ocean. And why do
Wow.
you think planes disappear? Oh, because they're in the ocean. That
Yeah, I
makes
don't know
sense.
about black hole. Maybe the whole portal thing, but black hole that's a bit
Well, black hole
much.
portal, same situation. It's about the fact that the Bermuda Triangle is in the ocean, yet
I haven't
so
heard
many
about
planes go missing in the Bermuda
I
Triangle.
haven't heard about the Bermuda Triangle in like 10 plus years.
Well, it resurfaced when I was doing my research on this thing. Um, that goes into the whole ocean and space thing. Guy falling from space. Let's see what we got here. Jumping from space. Red Bull dive.
But I don't know. I feel like now that we're gonna watch the video, the angle in which it was recorded is gonna provide like no evidence as to a spherical Earth. It's just
Probably.
literally
It's
like
probably
because
just
the
gonna be from
camera
his
is from
eyeball.
above his head,
Right.
so all you can see is like the slight curvature of the Earth in the distance, but like nothing else.
Right, which is the one.
See, like what kind of shite? Well, you can see
can see
the
that it's
circle down
around.
there. Or wait, that might just be the.
That
I
could
don't
be
know.
a. Oh no, that's this thingy.
Yeah.
He fell. Look at that. He's going down. What the
See,
hell is that?
that's him falling. That's literally the Earth being a sphere. You see, that's his camera from his helmet or something. And then there's the sun over there, probably.
It's such an interesting angle. Yes, but this is still going to be round because obviously it's the dome. It's a half dome, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what about the
So
people
like,
that
where's the
live on
bottom?
like? What about the people that live like over here?
There is
Oh
no
wait,
over
but
there.
then
It's
like,
right there.
but then like they're still going up. They're not just going sideways
That's
off the Earth.
that's what I'm saying, and that's why when you fly,
But how is that's not physically possible for the Earth to be a dome like this,
how is it not?
and then like I don't. Mm-hmm.
You have to think about the direction. What the hell is this?
Because then that would make their
this guy
distance.
is swirling.
If the Earth is a dome, at some
Right.
point the distance to get questionably out of the like into space has to become shorter for somebody on the edges of the Earth, as opposed to like in the middle of the Earth. No.
I see what you're saying. Well, what? Like if you're driving from one end,
Yeah, and what happens if you just like keep driving?
but you can't.
Well,
Like-
eventually you're just gonna hit water.
Yeah.
No, but like,
No, but
because like if you, what's like the
I'm
edges of
trying
the
to
Earth
see.
in this scenario?
I'm trying to. There's literally a map. Hold on, I need to find the map because there's a map. The map. The map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
But then how
Why is this not loading?
how is the Earth then organized?
Look at that. My laptop doesn't want me to find out.
How is the Earth then organized? Like, how is all like the land together or apart?
Oh, how convenient. Safari can't open the page when I look up flat Earth map.
It's loading. Hold on, just give it a second.
The FBI is on to me. They're about to come for me. They're gonna come knocking
They're
on our
about to
door.
come busting through the windows. Oh my goodness.
They're listening through my phone. They're gonna come for me.
It's like they're getting too close. Right. So, I don't know. Is this a flat Earth map, right? And then like, right?
Possibly. I don't know. I've seen other things.
Mm-hmm.
Why does nothing want to load all of a sudden? Stupid internet.
Right. Okay, here. Right?
I guess.
All that white is Antarctica,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote. Wouldn't, if somebody, what is this supposed to be? South America? If somebody just goes off the edge of like, what is that down there? Chile?
Maybe.
All the way at the bottom of South
I don't
America?
know my continents.
If they just like, oh no. Because they'd be going straight up. No. Yes. Okay, so if it's a dome and you're all the way over here, like at the very edge of Chile, versus, I don't know, taking off somewhere from like freaking Canada. The dome from Canada to Chile is going to be a way greater distance going upwards from Canada.
This is really funny that my laptop really decided to crash when I look up flat Earth map.
My phone works, so I don't know.
My laptop just refuses, and I'm literally using everything else on here.
But wouldn't that be right?
But like the way that you're thinking of it is that like the dome is going to be reachable no matter what. It's so high up there. It's still like in a space kind of thing.
Yes, it's so high up there, but like the distance, technically, if it's a dome, would be shorter going from the edges of the Earth from like the middle of the Earth. But then how is it that like science will tell us the earth or the atmosphere is like this high up? Like there's a certain distance.
Um, I'm not sure. How? Let's look up how far the atmosphere is. I don't know. Has that even been answered?
Well, yeah, I feel like that's something that we may have learned in like what's one of the
Yeah.
astrology
Well, guess
class.
what? We also
No.
learned that the moon landing happened, and that's just not true. So.
Well, I don't know anymore. Okay.
There's obviously still some science out there. Science is a thing, but there's again, this is all theory. May not be true. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that make sense and a lot of things that are easier to understand in this sense than
Hold up, because then the way that this sentence is phrased is such a mm, mm. Earth's atmosphere stretches from the surface of the planet up to as far as. So what I'm
yeah,
saying would be right then,
there you go.
kind of, right? Is that if you take off from like one of the edges of the Earth, it somehow, if it's a
You'll
dome,
reach it closer than the other.
yeah, it'll be closer on this side versus the middle. I feel like that's what that's reading as. Oh gosh, if there's somebody watching this that just completely disagrees with the whole this all these theories, we probably look like absolute monkey idiots right now.
We probably sound really crazy.
And by the
But
way,
hey,
let me remind you that I'm of the mindset that Earth is a sphere.
yeah.
Like this is my
I'm the
mindset.
one who really questions everything in existence and space as a whole. I'm just bringing forward some things that I found that just came up with
No,
the
but then the
whole
way this
alien
other
research.
website phrases it is that the highest layer of Earth's atmosphere extends approximately this high up. But the way the other one reads, it's up to. So like, why?
I think it's more that nobody has an exact answer for anything. I don't think we will have answers.
Yeah.
Is the
So
thing
again,
here.
let me make it clear that like, obviously, I've been taught. Well, I've gone to high school. That was the extent of my education.
Not that college will do anything
Well, yeah. To me, college is whatever. That's a whole different thing.
either.
Obviously, we came up learning that Earth is a sphere. There's an expansive universe. School might teach the Big Bang, but the Big Bang in science to me is definitely like it can help explain some things, but it's definitely not the end all be all for the existence of everything. Um, but like that's my mindset. Except for that, again, I at least claim to be a Christian, and all this firmament business that she loves to believe in, and the moon landing never happened. Like it really begs the question. Yeah, I don't know, man. I might be having an existential crisis. Not really an existential crisis. Now I'm just
You're
questioning,
just questioning
like,
things.
like, like, why? Why have we been taught these things? How did we reach the conclusions that are now being taught in school?
Well, obviously there were just different believers, like the thinkers. Those are the ones who really brought up the whole just general
Well, but
information, and everybody had different beliefs.
yeah, but the thing is that those thinkers and some of those early, like the Socrates of the world and all those uh, guys and the Galileos and whatnot, like a lot of them. What was that initial Earth drawing? Is that we're a geocentric
Mm-hmm.
universe. Earth is the middle, and obviously everything's around us. But that's what I said earlier. Is that as science or as technology evolves and as our understanding of everything evolves, we've come to find, as we've gone into space and technology, we found that Earth is a sphere. And obviously, there is an expansive universe that we are, in fact, not the center of. Well, obviously, we thought that because we're arrogant, egocentric humans. I don't know. Because even in a Christian worldview, in a biblical worldview, we're still not the center of the universe. We're not. But also we kind of are. Because like then is the question is back to the whole alien thing that this is really all about, is that if there's not aliens from space and they're in the oceans, that's kind of where a few of my videos went into the whole, a lot of Christians being like, oh, well, we knew this because apparently uh Nephilim, I don't know too much about it, but Nephilim is essentially all the demons that were cast down into the
Oh, that
oceans.
was my next thing that I was going to talk about. Or that aliens are actually demons.
Yes. So, see, guys,
And then that's why, God walks on water and just so many other things that also play into that.
right. So, yeah, hmm, I'm crashing. I'm crashing. I'm not going to crash out, but my brain is certainly crashing. Because although I've seen these videos for the past few days, I don't put too much thought into it. Again, mostly from the standpoint of like the whole aliens thing is such a wash to me now. Like they just keep talking about it, but we're not ever seeing anything. The more you think about it, and she's the one that's gonna probably keep going down the rabbit hole while I'm away at work. Um, I don't know. It just, as things come out more, and I feel like science eventually, like if it hasn't already, archaeology alone supports the Bible in so many ways. Eventually, we're gonna get to a point with science. Like, how are we gonna refute the Bible at some point? I don't know. It's just
Well,
driving me
that's
closer
that's
to it.
what that's what people are saying. It's like you you just can't. Or people are just refusing to believe what's being said in the Bible, but then when you actually read it and you actually think about it, then it's like, oh wait, that kind of makes sense.
Yes. And on the side note of this whole Bible thing, apparently there was a whole new archaeological discovery that yet again supports. Uh, I don't know too much about it because again, I just kind of see things. I don't pay too much mind because it's just like that's just a lot of extra stuff that I need to come into later on down the road. I'm still trying to put it together for myself. I'm still trying to build my relationship. I don't think I need to be focusing on all these extra things right now. But like, because here's the thing, right? Because now as soon as we start talking about it, I'm crashing out. Like my brain is crashing because it just like it amazes me now when you get into this train of thought. It amazes me and almost disgusts me what education is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's so many like ah ah. You keep going now. I'm gonna take a break from.
I think it's more of just that there have been so many things that are directly in front of us, and nobody cares to pay mind to it or really look into things. And that's why people just kind of go based off of what they're being told. And again, we live in a world of we were taught all of these things. And again, this is still just like a theory. Nobody's saying it's real, but just it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of
And a lot of
sense.
things line up, and it's not even just like with what we're talking about specifically. There's just so many other things that go into it, and I mean, it's been in the Bible for years and years and years, and you really look into research, it all just kind of lines up. So,
Yep.
you can do what you want with the information that you are hearing, or you can just think that we're crazy. Fine, but this just kind of seems like the how do I say this? I don't know. This just makes the most sense.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, the whole I guess the whole next thing is what I brought up is the whole the aliens in the ocean are actually Nephilim, aka demons, and uh, some of the videos I've seen talks about how like the Nephilim actually procreated with some of the women on this earth to then eventually, I guess, evolve, quote unquote, to make like demon human babies.
Oh, Interesting.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, because
I had saw the whole concept about aliens being demons, and that's essentially why I fell into the rabbit hole of Genesis explaining the firmament. But I didn't do much research on the whole demon side. I just fell down the other side.
yeah,
So there's definitely way more to look into.
yeah, no, the Bible goes on to read that they mated with the women,
What is the name? Nephilis?
Nephilim,
Nephilim?
Nephilim.
Oh, look at
Yeah. Um, there are people, or I mean, they're demons. But then I also saw, I don't know how like this may not extremely correlate, but in Matthew, in the Gospel of Matthew, um, a man, I think it's a leper, he comes up to Jesus, but the demon is speaking through the mouth of the man, and he's talking about, oh, you are Jesus, like, why am I saying it like that? The demon is trying to like detest Jesus, like, I defy you. And then Jesus tells the demon to get out of the man's body, and the demon notices there's a bunch of like pigs or some kind of animals by the water, and he was like, if you release us, the demon speaking, can we go into the bodies of like these animals into the waters? And Jesus, boom, kicks him out, kicks the demons out of the man's body, and they go into the waters.
that. Mm-hmm.
So there you go, demons in the ocean, aliens in the ocean.
And then people also said that's why um when you look up like ghosts or like supernatural things, they also look pretty similar to aliens. Or at least the
Ghosts?
the way that like we picture. Yeah, if you like look up like supernatural like ghosts or like um when people take pictures of things and there's like a weird orb or like figure in it, they're all essentially in the same shape of an alien that we have depicted. Like that whole just like weird
The big head,
big head and
big
like
forehead, like
lengthy
KSI.
body. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, just a whole other side of things to look at. They just kind of align with everything.
Well, not everything.
Well,
All these things just point towards the Bible, and I don't know.
well yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh man, it's yeah. But yeah. On the topic of supernatural ghost stuff, quit playing. All right, those are demons. Stop.
What do you mean?
I command you, woman.
Well, no, supernatural isn't uh demons are different than spirits. I'm not playing with demons.
I saw a video. I don't. I'm not gonna word it good at all. But basically, the video made it very clear that the spirits that some fools love to interact with here, those are essentially demons. That's what I got from the video.
That's very broad. What do you mean play with who? Play in what way? What are you talking about?
You know, you ghost people that love to go into the haunted places, and
Oh,
like do the like how we did the tour at St. Augustine. Like anytime you try to mess with the supernatural, what you're messing with
well,
is demons.
it's not. I don't believe that necessarily. Yes, it depends in the way that you're doing it. I'm not out there doing an exorcism or playing with Ouija boards. I also just don't do anything at all. I just like watching it, aside from the one time we did the haunted tour. But I definitely don't believe, or I won't say I won't believe. I will not play with a Ouija board or any other weird, creepy things, because then, yes, that is opening a portal to many other things. But there is a difference between spirits and demons, and I don't play with demons. I just believe that your loved ones are hanging around, and that's who you probably hear or see every now and then. But I
That's
hope to not open up any portals to any demons.
st-
I see that
mm,
there's a line, and I definitely think that there's different ways to attract if you really want it. Like, I don't know. This cannot go into a whole other hour of talking about spiritual things. But I definitely do see it as there are spirits and there's demons.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. For me, the conversation starts at if you believe that there is a spiritual realm, it's fairly simple. Like it's a binary system: good spirits versus bad spirits. There's no wandering like in the middle spirits, and
Yeah.
the good spirits, aka like I don't know, angels and those that ascend to heaven, they're not going to be here. They are far away from earth. They are in heaven. There's no That's what I was saying that one time. I feel like in that other podcast that those that hang around here slash under, those are demons. It's a binary like good and bad. There's no like weird in the middle spirits, which is why like there is it's just a lot more to look into there. I don't think there's so much of this what you might think of spirits versus angels versus demons. There's not like a there's not that.
Yeah, sure. Again, that can just go into a whole other hour of us speaking about, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much into that. But believe what you believe.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like everything just points towards the Bible, and it's just like my brain, my brain.
Yeah. A lot of weird things.
It's like, then why are we? It's just a lot of why. Just a lot of why.
There's definitely so much more research that can go into it, but I had found out about this topic literally 2 hours before I needed to get my information together. So I only did so much. There was definitely like so many other topics that I had saw that I could have done more research on, or even just the things that I did talk about, that there are many things that go behind it and that can be talked about. But I just kind of gathered together the like a short story of it, really. But yeah, you can definitely go down a much bigger hole looking more into it, and just a lot of other factors that I didn't even account for in my little plan here.
I'm like, what?
Well, like with the whole demon thing, I didn't really look into that side of it, but it all just fell into the whole ocean and firmament thing, anyways. I just didn't look more into like how that evolved, but
Yeah.
and it's pretty simple if you look at it.
Yeah. Oh man. I feel like that's probably what I'm gonna do. Because right now I just started the Gospel of Luke not too long ago. Then after that, it's John. But after I finish the Gospels, because that's just getting to know the Gospel and Jesus and the events of the 3.5 years of his earthly ministry and obviously the resurrection and whatnot. But after I get through with the Gospels, I'm starting at the very beginning. I'm going to Genesis and I'm starting. I'm gonna Ben Shapiro put it funny because he's a Jew.
Oh, you haven't read Genesis yet?
No, this is my first time reading the Bible. Period. Like, yes, I've gone to mass, but you go to mass and they always pick out like the one few verses, and then they give their sermon on the verses.
Genesis and Isaiah just talk directly about all of this.
Yeah, but I've never actually read the Bible other than mass, and even then, as a kid, am I really sitting there at church and reading the stupid? Because they don't even give out the Bible at church. We at least
They give
at,
you a piece of paper with like verses on it.
yeah, no. The church that we used to go to, back home, they had a book. It was like a booklet for like I think the way they categorized it at this church was like for the different seasons, and it was for a few months at a time. It'd be the certain verses, the songs that we're gonna sing throughout the mass, and then obviously the sermon. But as a kid, I'm really not sitting there and like reading along. I'm really just like listening. And also as a kid, you tend to just zone out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never actually read. And right now, obviously, I'm taking it all serious. But right now, I'm in the season of getting to know the gospel, the good news. I'm getting to know Jesus, and it's going well. Sometimes it's scary, and sometimes it's very hard on my heart. But I'm trying to. I want to pursue, and I am pursuing. But yeah, after I'm through with that, I'm going to the beginning. I'm going to start with Genesis. I'm doing all that because that's just history, and I like history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's within the first chapter of the Bible.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've never read anything, honestly. Yeah. So I don't know, guys. This time next year, I might be a full blown firmament flat earther. If I'm not already. I'm kind of already like 90% there. I'm convinced. You're not gonna have a lot of work to do with this whole moon landing stuff. I agree. Screw the podcast. I agree. They're liars. They're all liars.
Duh, the government just everybody's known that.
Yeah, no.
They're gonna keep on making lies. There's so many things. 9/11.
Oh, because see, that was what I was talking about at the very beginning. She's a conspiracy person, and it's just like some of the things she says sometimes is so weird.
It's not even that like I think things are fake. I just know and have done research on the side that is being hidden and what they hide and how they hide it. Sure. I'm not saying 9/11's fake. I'm just saying
well, no, it's not fake. It obviously happened.
Yeah, there was a whole other side of that.
Yeah, but the conspiracy is like as to why it happened, who was involved.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But that's just weird stuff. That honestly, that's kind of like the least. That's the least of the anything.
No, well, yeah, there's definitely
the highest on the totem pole for me at this point is the whole moon landing question, which I have firmly believed up until right now. Although, like, I don't know, I feel like we should just keep believing in it, just because, like,
yeah, you can keep believing in it because obviously that's what the world has known for centuries.
Centuries,
or what?
It's not a century. It's not even
not even there yet.
When did that happen? Whatever. Like the 50s, 60s.
Apollo. It was a while ago.
Moon landing.
Apollo 11.
1969.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said it was directly after Fishbowl because they had failed to,
It's not even. It's 55 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, lots of fun theories, lots of things to think about.
You know what? I'm assigning you some homework. Next week, we may as well just go into the moon landing thing. So for this next week.
But it's like, now at this point, what more do I have to say?
Well, no, because you still have to present your case to me because I just want to know what you have to say. Like, what is... I may just believe it now,
but
just out of this conversation, I might not believe in it anymore just because of my worldview.
Uh-huh.
But I want you to present your case.
Okay.
Because you have your worldview.
If I had saw this before anything else, I would have immediately already just not believed the moon landing. But because I did so much research on why the moon landing was... But then now, after reading all of this, makes me think about all the evidence or whatever that I did gather years ago, and I just want to laugh at it because it's actually so stupid at the things that they did. And just like makes so much sense, and it's like people are stupid.
Okay, yeah.
It's just, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that, like, when you really think about it and you put two and two together, then you just start to realize that you're lied to a lot. And yeah, people are just stupid.
Yeah.
For sure. I'll try to gather as much information.
I want you to present your case to me next week.
Okay. Even though I kind of like already said a few points in this podcast, but
Yeah, but
sure.
no, I want.
I'll try to get as much as I can because, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, I spent literally 3 months
Well, you better
putting a
compress three
journal
months into a
together.
week. Make it happen.
I literally watched every single video and documentary on Netflix and YouTube and interviews from like the 1900s. I watched so many
The
things.
1900s. You make that sound like it was so long ago.
I mean, no, but I watched a lot of old things, a lot of interviews, lots of stuff. Yeah, so I'll see what I can get together in a week, I guess.
Yeah, make it happen.
Okay. Even though this
Oh yeah, I know. It's just you've had this case that you've been trying to push for the longest time, and
yeah,
I've
I
shot you
know, I
down every
know.
time because I'm just like, dude, have you ever been to school? But now my question is, school is, or it's not a question. My statement now is, well, school is stupid. The
Yeah.
government and what we're taught is stupid. So
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm having an existential crisis.
Yes. Anyways, um that is really all of my little bullet points here that I have for this theory or truth to the world.
Yeah. Um, I do have an ending question.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't prepare any because obviously
No, we
this
took up so
whole
much time.
yeah, this whole everything is yeah, it took up everything. But my one ending question is, I'm not going to answer it.
Wait,
Although I can.
no, but
I can, but mostly towards you is uh you've long time not believed in the moon landing already.
mm-hmm.
You seem to be a firm believer in the firmament thing because of the moon landing thing,
I guess.
or maybe not a firm believer, but you definitely lean towards it because you don't believe the moon landing happened.
Yes.
With all this that you read today, and probably all that you're going to dive back into over the next week, since we're going to talk about the moon landing next week,
Mm-hmm.
how does this, if at all, affect your view of the Bible slash Christian worldview?
Again, like I said earlier, that this whole thing just kind of made me re-question and just fall down a huge hole. But I also just like never said that I didn't believe. I just question things and also don't care to question some things. Um mm, okay, this is like what I said earlier. I don't know how to put it into words cuz this is what I was trying to get at when we first started. Was just like trying to explain how this made me feel or think. Obviously this kind of it doesn't prove anything, but it just a lot of things line up. And this I mean, this whole thing is really going based off the Bible. And
Well, it doesn't really get based, it just points towards it.
well, it's not even that it just points towards it. Like this is literally I pulled half of this out of the Bible.
Yes.
So like it's not even that it's it's
But
literally
even
coming
then,
straight from the source. Like yeah, obviously that kind of confirms it a little bit.
yeah, but even then, because because you as a conspiracy theorist, you seek truth.
Yeah.
But along the journey of seeking that truth and going down these rabbit holes of your conspiracy theories, those things, regardless of where you start, like this, for example, you could have started from a different point of view and somehow you still would have been led back to the Bible.
Yeah, because that's I mean, yeah, it was gonna happen no matter what because it is essentially how the earth is created.
Yeah.
So of course it was gonna fall back on the Bible. I mean, I obviously did not go into this whole research thinking that I was gonna fall into the side of figuring out whether Earth was flat or not. This was just a hole that I fell into, and I saw this stuff, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let me read more on that. And that's why I got into this side. This really just was supposed to be about aliens in the ocean, but the more research I did, then that's when I figured out, like, oh, they actually talk about this in the Bible. So this isn't just some theory. This is actually probably some truth.
Yeah.
And then the more I looked into it, I was like, oh, a lot of things start to make sense when you really line it up with what we've been told and what we've been taught. And then with the whole moon landing thing, that really just kind of confirmed it. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's pretty confirming.
Then how does it make you feel about it?
Well, it's like I said earlier. This it helped put not maybe picture. I don't know. That's where I don't know how to find the words here. Like, yes, the pictures definitely just helped my brain compute the words in the Bible more and like how Earth exists. Cause yeah, there's Big Bang evolution, and I've talked about that briefly in my thoughts and just with me and my thinking in general. This just kind of helped confirm some things for me.
What things?
It just gave me answers, cause like there's a lot of up and down with the whole is Earth flat, like space, what is it, evolution, Big Bang, and then you want to go into the spiritual side or the Bible. There's just a lot of routes, and I feel like this.
Well, you said it give you answers. What answers did it give you?
Well, that's what I was saying. That like it just helps me put pictures together, or like it just gives me an understanding rather than just knowing that there's all these different beliefs, and this is the only one that's kind of made it clear that like okay, the Bible obviously is kind of the truth here.
So you, so it gives to you credibility.
Yeah, I say so.
Well, yeah.
Cause obviously with me, I don't I don't want to say I don't understand, but like I need it. I need proof. I need to see
I'm gonna prove.
something physically, or like I grew up Christian, obviously, so like going to church and being religious was a very big part of my childhood. And it wasn't until recently, or not recently, but like middle school time when I fell out of that. But I don't know. It was never a case where I'm like, no, I don't believe. It was more of just that I fell out of it and I wasn't around it anymore. So then I just didn't think about it. And then now it's more of, I don't know, I just need like more, I just need solid evidence or just something to help me understand. And this kind of helped that. If that makes sense. Because it was able to tie with like real world things that I had already believed before.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I stand.
Well, I I could just read it straight out of the. Simple as seek and ye shall
Yeah.
find. Your answer makes me happy.
Well, yeah, because I know this is where you wanted me to get to.
But the thing is I want to make clear that I don't. This isn't. It's not for me. I hope you don't take any of this because I've taken a back seat, obviously, right?
Yeah, and I know you're not doing, or you're not trying to like pressure me or anything. Like we've talked about that between ourselves, and it was more of just trying to get me in a good space with it all.
Yeah, I've taken a back seat intentionally. Um, but I pray that you keep seeking, because again, um, it's not. I don't know. I don't really know how to put it into words. It does make me happy to even this slight little thing, just the slightest 1%, makes my heart jump a lot right now. Feel like I could cry. That might just be a little bit of an overreaction. Um, I don't know. Seeking ye shall find, and that's not my words. That's the man himself saying that. But I guess I'm keeping it together. Okay, guys? Gosh, chill out. I will continue to take a backseat, but I would encourage, because now I'm a little bit, I'm educating myself more. I'm reading and watching stuff. If you want to ever talk about it or have questions, I don't know. You know where I live, you know where I sleep at night. So, I don't know. I just, you know, it's not, I said it earlier, it's not just there's a lot of stories in it, but it's not just a book of like once upon a time and the land of whatnot. It's a historical document. And
Yeah,
like I said earlier, is more science and technology evolves, it doesn't prove anything, but it points back to the Bible. A lot of
yeah.
things support it. So I'm not going to be a crazy. I'm trying not to be crazy because I don't want to be overwhelming. But yeah, there's a lot happening in my brain, in my heart. So this guy's having a good or bad dream. Oh my goodness.
It's making a lot of noises.
But yeah, like, oh my goodness, he's like barking
I
and
think
growling at
he's
something in his dream.
I think he's fighting somebody in his dreams.
He might be fighting me, not in like a bad way. We play, okay? Yes. I don't know what more to say.
That's really all that there is to say, probably.
Yeah.
Well, that is well, if you stuck around this long and didn't log off because you thought we were crazy, um just something to think about. Again, this could just be a theory, but I think even somebody with a little common sense could put some things together and it all just makes sense. But again, do what you want with this information. This is just something that I find interesting with theories and connections and just fun things to talk about.
Yeah.
And there's still so many other things I did not cover that fall into this subject, but you can do that research on your own, as I will. As my brain froze, as I will also. Right? That's the way to say it. You get the point. Um. So yeah, that's all we have for you today. We are gonna go about our night. You guys go about your weekend because
Yeah.
it is Friday.
Yeah, I gotta pee. So.
And he has to pee pee.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I said I might answer the question that I asked her I mean, I think my answer is pretty clear. It definitely reinforces uh the Bible as truth, which I take it as truth. It's just like how I said earlier, like fully taking it as truth, it's like it destroys a lot of what we grow up on. So
Science.
it doesn't destroy science because science in a lot of ways supports the Bible.
Oh, well, yeah.
Science and history supports the Bible. So it's not it's not science that gets destroyed. It's what we're taught.
Yeah. It's just that with this, we were taught in more of a science and earth and rocks,
Yeah. And
atmosphere.
yeah. Well no, it's yeah, I don't know. But yeah, my answer is that this all would further support uh my belief. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my brain is like all over the place
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't really I didn't really think about these things deep at all when they're like coming across my phone screen. So now that I'm sitting down thinking about it, it's all just like blah explosion.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us in our crazy talks.
Yeah. Be back next week for the moon landing because she was going to present her case, and I'm finally ready to hear it.
Mm-hmm. All right. If you guys haven't already, check out yesterday's vlog. Subscribe if you haven't. Give this video a like. Um, what's the other one? Oh, follow us and rate us 5 stars on Spotify. And we will see you next week for Tuesday's vlog on YouTube. And if you only listen to us on Spotify, well, we'll see you guys next Friday.
Yep. See you guys. Blah blah. Wow. Bye. I have to pee.
Uh-huh. Toodaloo.